Are we live?
We are live.
Ned just snuck us on there.
He did.
Like he sneaks behind his victims.
Relegation before he jumps out on them and goes, boo. Terrifying. Two ends. It is the relegation battle therapy, we've called it. Because this is the week. It's D-Day, isn't it? D-Day is Sunday. And obviously it's difficult for a lot of people to think of anything else.
Deep breath.
And the reality is we all want Monday, don't we? Next week. Whatever that may bring. But how are you coping? Are you doing that thing like I am, which is just literally trying to think of anything else?
No, I'm dead chilled.
Yeah.
I'm just dead chilled about it.
Okay.
This is where the revolution starts.
Okay.
This is the start. This is the start. I'm telling you right now. This is where Everton become a force.
Okay.
From whatever happens.
Yeah. Okay.
No, listen.
Is this where the healing begins?
This is where the healing begins. No, it's Wednesday. There's no point thinking about it till Sunday or Saturday night. No.
Are you here to deliver the shocking truth of this relegation
shocking
battle?
truth of the relegation battle is that the game isn't getting played till Sunday. So try and just we know what all the scenarios are. We know what all the scenarios are. The simple fact is, if Everton do what the job of what football teams are supposed to, which is win them, they will stay up. If Everton don't do that and things go against us, we'll be relegated. But that will be our own fault. It won't be anyone else's fault. It won't be because Leicester have took the lead or whatever. Everton have got a game. They win the game. They stay in the Premier League. That is the shocking truth. And yeah, listen, and if anyone wants to come on and have a chat about it and tell us how you're feeling and need to be talked off a ledge somewhere, then give us a call. The link is in the top of the on the page on Premier. Ned is going to put that link into he's going to put the Premier link into the comments for YouTube as well. And give us a call. Just tell us how you're feeling. If you're feeling dead nervous and scared, give us a call and tell us why. If you want to get in touch with us about the MSP stuff and think how's it going to change, what's going to change, and let us know. I've put a poll on Twitter asking how many people would like to see board resignations on Monday morning. That's done over 1,000 already, and it's at 97%. So that's quite. If you're one of the 3%, get in touch with us and tell us why you back this board. I've seen people overnight saying they back the board side. Come on and tell us why. Just come on and tell us why you back the board. Or feel like there shouldn't be a change. I'd love to hear you. I really would. And you'll be allowed to speak your mind. No one will shoot you down. You'll be allowed to speak your mind. So, there you go.
Yeah, let us know how you're feeling. Ahead of Sunday. Are we confident? Are you worried? Surely most Evertonians would have taken this after Fulham at home and Newcastle at home, would have taken we win the game and we're safe. No, nothing anybody else can do about it if we win the game. You know, saying to Ted, the other week, James Maddison had a penalty hit 2-1 to make it 3-1 in that game. Imagine if they'd have beat us, that would have been out of our hands. Totally, if that goal would have gone in the other night, Nick Pope's save from whoever it was, Harvey Barnes or whoever it was, Leicester would have only had to win on Sunday and there would have been nothing we could do about it. So we're in a good position from that perspective. Obviously, we've got to do our job. We have got to win. If we win the game, it doesn't matter what anyone else is doing. And I tell you what would be really good for Everton and what would help put the pressure on the other two is an early goal. If Everton could get in front early on Sunday, then the pressure piles onto those other two teams then, because they'll find out how the games are going, of course they will. But if Everton win the game, we're all relieved, aren't we? But the changes do have to come, and the changes are coming. MSP, we've already seen this week, MSP have signed that exclusivity deal on Monday. So hopefully that is the beginning of the healing, a beginning of light, a beginning of a way forward, a beginning of a unification in the main of Evertonians, because there will be, listen, when you look at it, there will be people in all different camps. There'll be people who go, I'm fully behind the board. There'll be people who go, I'm fully against the board. There'll be people in the middle who are like, I just want to watch my football team and I don't even want to get involved in all that other stuff. There's no problem with any of that. And there'll be people who are like, well, better the devil you know. I've seen that. Better the devil you know sort of thing. But the reality is, we've been stagnating despite having the money. We're facing a commission because we haven't been run correctly. We've done things, allegedly, because we haven't been proven guilty of anything at the moment. So we're up for different reasons. But also, even if you take all of that and put it to one side, we're a football team that's been going backwards for the last few years.
Yeah.
You know, we've had the last time we finished in the top 8 was under Marco, wasn't it? Carlo was 12th and 10th. Then it was 16th, and this year it's 17th if we're lucky, isn't it? So we've just the last 4 seasons we've gone backwards. Yeah. So for Everton's sake, we have to turn this around. For our sake as fans, fans dragged the football club through it last season, and they've had to do it again this season. So we have to get to Monday. We have to just get to Sunday, rather. Forget Monday just for now. We have to get to Sunday. All get your blue on. Get to Goodison and make that place a bear pit for 90 odd minutes. Make it hostile, horrible. Make it electric. And get behind them players. Yes, I'd love it to have had Dom. I'd love to have had Patterson, Seamus, Coleman all available. They're not. So let's move on from that. There's 11 lads wearing a blue shirt out there, and we have to get right behind them. And if that means Michael Keane's playing, get behind them. If it's Neil Maupay, get behind them. Damari Gray, whoever. They're all wearing our shirt on Sunday, and we have to be as one. It's one game. The changes and the talk and the need for different players and different owners and everything else can come on Sunday night, Monday, throughout the summer. On Sunday, we all have to be one. We all have to be together, because let's be honest, if we went down, we're the ones that bear the brunt of it, aren't we? Them players, half of them will disappear like they do. I'm too good to play in the Championship, see ya, and we'll slope off to other clubs, because it's all right going, people won't have them. People will. People will always take the players. Others will go on loan, and we'll be left to pick the pieces up. So it's us. So it's on us. We've got to just believe for all of Sunday that we're gonna do it. Believe and drag that team over the line. We done it last season. We that Chelsea game when we won. We had the Charleston, and people can go on about that. I know, but that Chelsea game that day, we were 5 points adrift in the relegation zone, and we dragged ourselves out of it. In Crystal Palace, we were 2-0 down and gone, weren't we? So we've just got to, for just one more day, just back the shit out of this club, of these players, and then we can move forward onto the other issues then that are around the football club. So let us know how you're feeling about that. But if you can't, try to just put it on the back burner and go, right, just a couple of days. No other games are affecting us, so just try and keep your powder dry. And then Sunday, get your calms from the chemist, get them down, and let's get the 3 points.
That's it, innit? I just think that right now there's no need to. I know it's different. You can't tell people how to feel. I appreciate that, and it's a very nervous time. But I don't think anyone should overthink it for the next.
Because you can't change it, can we? At the moment,
no. It all comes to fruition on Sunday, and that'll be it. And whatever happens, hopefully there'll be change. Personally, I'd like to see, the whole board resign. I mean, not Monday morning. It's a bank holiday. It'll be Tuesday morning. I'd like to see the whole board resign, and Everton start moving forward, because these people should not be at our football club, in my opinion, just because their track record is not good enough. Very much like if you had a player who wasn't good enough for the team. This the board's not good enough for the club, and they should know that. They should have gone last year. They should have gone the day after the Arsenal game last year, but they didn't because they thought it was a one-off. Well, it hasn't been a one-off, and the results are off the pitch are frankly awful. So, and you need money now. Of course, you need money. You need to generate your own money to get round FFP, as Baz mentioned, that commission where there's a lot of journos who want that commission rushed through so we can get our punishment this year. So let's hopefully we start seeing change, and if MSP are the catalyst for that and put people in who know what they're doing, and let people who are at the club that might know what they're doing get on with what they're doing, and hopefully we see a complete change, because I think that's what the football club needs, isn't it? We've seen Newcastle qualify for the Champions League on Monday night, and that whole club just seems to have a sense of freshness about it. When they had their new owners, they got rid of everybody and brought in a whole new set of people, the best people they could find, the best people they had as part of their consortium come in and took over and refreshed the whole place, and straight away all the fans got behind the new people, because they understood that the people who were there weren't positive for the club, and that works massively. The benefits of that are massive. There's a huge knock-on effect, regardless of the results, by the way. There's a huge knock-on effect, the first of when everyone's pulling in the same direction, you get that uplift everywhere in the club. At the moment, Everton Football Club just seems, everything about it just seems wrong and down and doesn't feel like it's our club. You know, there's good people leaving the football club who obviously feel like people are not pulling for them within the football club, and it just doesn't feel like our football club at the moment. And hopefully if we get a bit of positivity starting with Sunday, then we can start to do that. The football club can't be fighting with itself, and this is what's been going on for not just since January, for a long time. There's too much fighting, there's too much going on. Read an article last night from an Evertonian journalist who was like, but talking about Everton, and he was like, I won't have a go at Bill because he's me mate. It's like, well, there you go, there's your first problem. People have got to get out of their own way and recognise what the issues are at this football club, and actually hold their hands and go, it's time for something new at this football club. It's time for a fresh start. That fresh start should have come when Fard Moshiri come in. He should have understood that Everton needed a whole new thing, not just a lick of paint, a whole new outlook, because we had tired people, like we always do, who think they know what football is but don't know what football is, don't know where football's heading. You have to understand in football or anything, you have to create the future, don't you? Not just go, we're going to do what everyone else has done 5 years after them. And that's what we've continued to do. So let's hope Sunday's positive. Let's hope that starting next week, these people move aside, knowing that they're the issue, and we can get on with it. And then all the other issues can be sorted then. You know, whether the manager's the right man for the job, whether the director of football's the right man for the job, we'll never know. I'm convinced we'll never know whether any of these people are the right people for the job, while there's people stopping them from doing their jobs properly, or stopping them from buying players, or whatever. And it doesn't just affect the first team, it affects everything. It affects the women's team, and we've got a lot of good Evertonians who follow that women's team everywhere, and that's as much a part of their life as the men's. The women's team is gonna get smashed to bits. I think they've already lost a player today for next season. Got to think of things like that. It's, you know, the resources down the club for the getting younger players into the club and developing Finch Farm and all the, you know, making sure that our new stadium's the best they could possibly be. That all comes into play for this. And I know people might go, I'm not bothered with the women's team, but I just want the men's team. But if you've got the best possible version of the men's team, that all filters down, and you create a culture within your football club then of, we've got the best of the best. Look at like Man City, look at them. You know, you can say what you want about them, 115 violations and all this, but look at the way the club has got the best of the best everywhere. You know, they've got a mini stadium, they've got brilliant facilities, they're building an arena on the Etihad campus for the biggest indoor arena in the country. They're building a glass fan zone attached to the new stand. They're pushing the standards They are pushing the standards, and that's what it's all about. Liverpool building a new standard. Like, we need more people in. We need to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And they've built a new training ground. It's creating this culture within your football club that everyone goes, you know what, they're creating something there. And I think football on the pitch, you win some, you lose some, especially the way it is at the moment with clubs like Manchester City running away with it. But you've got to create that culture. You've got to. And also, let's buy a Labrador for the training ground. I think that's so important. Going to Mikel Arteta.
When we come second, we can do that.
Do we have to come second, though, to get one?
Well, I feel like it.
Okay.
We have to at least make progress on the pitch, don't we? So there you go. There's a poll above if you want to have a little vote in that one, just to get an idea of where people are at, what people are thinking of. Where are we here? Cal says, do you think MSP would be the best option out of all those who are interested in the club? I personally, I don't know, mate. They seem to know what they're doing. They seem to have a plan. But it's not a full buyout as yet, is it? So it's just an investment. So I don't know. 777. No, not really. Don't know that much about them either. And it's one of them that you never know till they're in, do you? You're never gonna know unless. But they're not a country with unlimited wealth. So I don't know. I hope that you hope with the right people, can't you?
Yeah, well, I mean, at MSP, they've got investments in the X Games. I think we spoke about that previously. I think they bought that off Disney. They've got investments in McLaren. They've got 5 football clubs.
Augsburg, haven't they, and Sevilla and people like that.
They've got 5 football clubs across Europe, and I think they've got one in South America as well. So they've got facilities out there, haven't they? The guy who runs the chairman, he has got an investment in the Phoenix Suns as well, and I believe they've done very well as well. Jeff Murad, who's the CEO, he has been a sports agent and part of sports management teams for years. I'm sure he had something to do with Jerry Maguire.
He did.
Yeah,
he was the one who. Well, that's where he got to show me the money was from him.
He was an advisor, but he also got a cameo in that as well. Yeah. So they've got people who've been around sports for a very, very long time, and I think what they want to do is they want to come in with their investment. And obviously for us that's huge because that helps with the stadium. What it does is it takes. There's this thing of like it'll get the stadium finished. The stadium's going to get finished. What it does, it takes the pressure off the actual football club then. Take that money away from the first team and stuff. So it gives us that investment, and then they'll use their expertise within the football club, how to get the most out the stadium, how to get the most out of marketing, how to brand Everton across the world, how just to run a football club better or a sports franchise better. So
create a budget, a proper transfer budget for the manager. Ricky Kane on the super chat. Cheers, Ricky. Cheers, Ricky. Says, evening, gents. I'm still recovering from that Castagna. Oh, it's Castagna, not Harvey Barnes. On a Castagna chance. Don't think my heart can take Sunday's match. I hope these players can step up. Stay calm. We get a couple of calms down. Yeah, told you. Listen, relax. We can do it. We can do it, mate. It's going to be nervy and it's going to be difficult. But we've just got to be at 100%, and if we do that, we can win the game. If we win the game, we're safe, and we can just breathe. And then hopefully, said this last year, but hopefully not be in this position again. But we've got one more mountain to climb. And given the way this season's been, not having a centre forward for most of the season, it's a miracle that we're still in with a chance of staying up. So look at it that way. Right, we've got Jake on the line. Jake, are you there? What do you want to say?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, can hear you. Can you hear us?
Oh my god, nice to meet you guys. Holy crap.
There you go.
It's like talking to celebrities. What's going on?
Well, you know, I don't know whether you're on the right phone call if that's what you're looking at, but fair play to you. What do you want to say, mate?
I don't really have anything to say. I just wanted to call up and see how you are doing. I am nervous as fuck talking to you two, honestly.
Don't be nervous talking to us, mate. We're just exactly the same as you, just Evertonians flapping about Sunday. Well, what do you think? What are you thinking? Surely, Jake, a few weeks ago, if someone would have said to you when we'd lost at home to Newcastle and Leicester was the big game that we had to win and we didn't win it, surely if someone would have said to you then, listen, do you want the last game of the season, you know, we have Brighton and Man City to come, the final game of the season at home to Bournemouth, if you win that, you're safe. Would you have taken that?
Listen, I would have taken it, but the thing is, right, honestly, not getting the win against, what was it, Wolves the other day, really, really fucking downhearted me.
Right.
Like, I, just with this, like, not to be negative, it's Everton, isn't it? You're always fucking negative. Sorry.
Jake's very sweary, aren't you, Jake?
Sorry.
Just chill. Go on, mate. What are you saying? Go on.
What was I gonna say? I'm just a bit gutted we didn't get the win. To be honest, I thought that was our big chance to nail it. And now, obviously, with the injuries to Calvert-Lewin, Patterson out, bit doubtful over Mikalenko. I'm a bit worried that it's gonna get shook up for the last game. You know what I mean? But it's what I mean. All season, honestly, lads, I've been. What's the word?
Bottling it.
Like you say, I think we what we've done this season. If we go down, it's it's on us, isn't it? Not the fans, but how the club's been running everything. You know what I'm saying? So it's a bit downheartening, but at the end of the day, I can't moan about where we are because it's how I feel we deserve to be. You know what I mean? How crap the club's been run. What's the word? It's really downheartening, mate. And you get a load of fucking sorry, pardon my language. It's terrible. That's terrible. That's from work.
You can't blame work unless you've had a bad day, of course.
I haven't had a bad day. It's dead hot. It's nice and sunny outside. You know, dead easy life.
Where are you calling from, Jake?
I live up in Cumbria, from the Lake District.
Nice.
Oh, nice. What a lovely part.
I don't live near the lakes and stuff. I live.
They're alright. They're all polluted anyway.
Yeah.
I
don't go outside anyway. I'm sitting here talking to you guys on the computer. So
go out and have a walk. That'll calm you down, mate. That'll get your heart rate level.
Nah, I'm all right. Sorry, that's terrible of me swearing that much. Honestly, you don't realise how much you do it till you do it
until you're not supposed to. Yeah, of course. Yeah,
my bad.
No, it's all right, mate. It is. It's been a poor season, hasn't it? Let's be honest. But what can you do?
It has, mate. To be honest, it's just one of them where you're like, because what's the word? Like, obviously, my group of mates, we all support different teams. You see, like we've got a Spurs fan, we've got a supposed Chelsea fan, but I don't really believe him. We've got a United fan. Then you've got a load of bloody, red, not the S word, but whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
And it's such a good club, and it's just like it's brutal to listen to it all, isn't it? But it's then brutal again when you love it so much, but you can't. You're powerless, aren't you? And you don't get me wrong. You guys are doing a great job of all the protesting every week. Obviously, I've only been down to one game this season. It was what was it? It was the 1-0 win at home to Arsenal. So
good game.
Wasn't a bad game to go to then, was it?
No, it's brilliant, honestly. What a game. Me and my mate went down, and this is the Chelsea fan that I converted to an Everton fan. You see, he went once and he loved it.
That was it. Good lad.
That was it.
Spread the word.
I know, brilliant. But yeah, it's one of them. I'm hoping under Dyche that we, if we do survive this season, even I know you guys are massive. You're not 100% taken away with him, are you? You know what I mean? He's not your dream manager, but I do want us to get behind him, and I do hope with a season, even if he gets in even if he does, not get the young players that we all want to see flourish, even if he does get a few experienced heads, as long as we stabilize a bit, you know what I mean? Just coming into this new stadium as well. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
We just need a season of calmness, mate, is what we need.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
That's definitely what we need.
And, I'm one of them that I don't like, I know everyone says it, but we don't like possession football, do we? And we like to, The thing is, I like the personality of Dice. I wish he wasn't so. He's very stubborn sometimes, isn't he? You know what I mean? Which is a good and a bad thing, if you get what I'm saying. So
yeah, I think everyone we just concentrate on Sunday, and then if we get past that, then we need to be able to give the manager some funds, however that looks, and be able to, and he will have to incorporate some younger players as well. It's what the Premier League's about, but we just need a year of calmness, but we've got to get attacking players in and all that, but none of it can be even really thought about till we know what's happening Sunday. And we just need it out the way, really. Yeah. Don't we?
Yeah. It is one of them, isn't it? You're on a knife edge, aren't you? You know what I mean? And it's so, I don't know. Because obviously we had a game in hand, didn't we, before we knew we were safe, weren't we, against Palace last year?
Yeah.
So, but this year it is literally everything's last minute and your heart's pumping away. It's just, oh man.
It's rather it be pumping away than the opposite though, kid, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, it's one of them. You know, I support them if they stay up or if they go down. Obviously, like obviously you guys. You know, you live there and you live it every day. Dream job you two must have, honestly.
Well, yeah, dream job, yeah. Dream job.
Talking about this every day.
Talking about this, yeah.
It's tremendous. Hey. No, it's all good. It's all good. I'll be honest with you, mate. I just wanted to hear. It's the further away it is, it's worse. I just wish it was today. I wish it was tonight, just to get it done, because it's the waiting for it is worse. And you're not waiting for something good, are you? You're waiting with fear. But listen, it is what it is. So let's just get behind them on Sunday, and hopefully we'll have enough. Hopefully we'll have 100%.
Enough. Just all the 11 players on the pitch, you just got to hope the best for them. You know what I mean? Because it's like you guys say, there are some bloody awful players. Like, and it's you wonder how some people get into football in the first place. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think it's the inconsistency that's awful. The Everton have obviously got talented footballers, but there's no consistency. Yeah. And we're short at the final third. We've been short all season, which is the reality. Is why we're where we are. If you go and look at defensively, they've conceded less goals than about 8 teams around them. But offensively, I think there's only Southampton that have scored less than us. So that tells you where our issues have been the whole season. And not satire.
Everyone
knows,
knew it.
Don't they? Yeah, everyone knows it. Every Evertonian knows it.
Yeah, I know. It's just it's why you want to bloody go up the board, innit, and headlock them all, and just tell them.
Maybe not headlock them all. That tactic hasn't worked. But let's just get change. Let's move forward.
It is one of them, and it's the place is run by bloody idiots, and you can't do out about it. It sucks.
I think there'll be change, mate. I think, like you say, that the big thing on the horizon right now is the game, and then I do believe that there will be big changes. The next few weeks.
That's what it's all on, isn't it? When we're not. It sounds awful to say, but we're not. Football fans, you should be. Oh, come on, let's win the next game. Let's finish higher. Let's get Europe. We're praying that there's just change at the football club, aren't we? Rather than praying for a trophy or anything.
Yeah, we've been dragged into stuff that really we shouldn't be. We shouldn't have to think like this, should we? We want to go back to your right thinking who we buying or what formation we playing or can we make this player better? But we're all talking about frigging venture capital groups and investments and shares and all of this kind of stuff, and we need
which of the kids can come in and
we need to just get back to footy, don't we? Footy matters.
Yeah,
you're right.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, nice one, mate. Thanks for your call. Mate. Make sure you give us a call next time.
Yeah, give us a call next week.
All right, mate.
Hopefully.
Sorry, I'll try not to swear.
Nice one.
We'll have the beat machine ready next week.
I'm not as flustered now that I've dipped my toe.
Yeah, you're all right now.
That's it.
You'll be all right now.
Speak to you.
All right, cheers, Jay. Take care, mate. See you, pal. Ta-ra. Where are we? Roderick says, not saying that I'm feeling confident, but I don't get why people think Leicester will beat West Ham. They've won 1 of the last 15. West Ham dominated Leeds and Leicester had 1 shot against them. That's the thing, isn't it? People will automatically do that, though, because they'll think, well, they'll win. And it's like a safety blanket, but it's also a thing of knowing what you have to do then. Jay says, all right, lads, I've got an op on Thursday to rip my gallbladder out.
Oh, nice.
I've had my gallbladder out. I hope they don't rip it out of you, Jay. Just don't rip my heart out, please, Blues. 2-0 win on Sunday, then onto the board. Resignations.
Adam on the super chat says, pitch invasion to chant the board out is a must. No, Adam. No. Can't advocate for that, mate. No pitch invasions on
because we've got it hanging over us. You know what? I would be more worried, I think, about a pitch invasion getting us a points deduction than the actual commission. Yeah. Because we're on our final warning. No. By all means, stay where you are and chant it. By all means, but just try to stay off the pitch, because I honestly think they're waiting to hammer us over this.
I wouldn't give the people who run the club the satisfaction either, though. I really wouldn't. I'd just stay where you are,
the Premier League,
and tell them exactly how you feel. Because to me, a pitch invasion, the wealthy will make angry mob storm Goodison pitch. That's what it'll be.
Yeah, they make us to be the bad guys again.
And I don't think they should be that at all. They're the bad guys, and it should be on them. But they'll flip it because they always flip it. And it'll be on the fans. They'd love to. We've seen Martin Keown the other week talking about us, saying how it's terrible, Everton. When the Arsenal fans left early, he was like, "Yeah, but I don't expect it from the Everton fans. I expect it from the Arsenal fans." It's like, behave yourself.
No, we've got to let's just do what we can do. By all means, do the singing and chanting the board out and all that, absolutely, but don't do it on the pitch. Just because not even Everton, not even the board. Yeah. I'm talking about the Premier League. After what's going on, we don't need another thing for them to
Premier League.
We don't, though, do we?
No.
We're already on a commission. We don't need another one where they're like, look what else these do. Let's hammer them for everything. So that's just my opinion. Other people might have massively different ones. That's just mine.
But they'd be wrong, so that's fine. We've got Pat on the line, have we?
Hey.
Hello,
okay.
Pat.
You all right, Pat?
No, I'm like everyone else.
Sorry, you just made a noise there, and it was like...
Nothing came out.
It was just like...
Yeah, well, I mean, that might be a precursor to what happens on Sunday when I fall over and you'll see, Chicago man found dead at home.
Don't die for Everton, mate. Come on, Pat. It's not that bad.
No, it's not. But it is. I mean, this is the most stressful. It is what makes footy so beautiful, but it is also horrifying when it's us.
Yeah.
It's like the 2010, 2011 season where something like this was happening as well. When United, I think, won their last title, and it was just a brawl at the bottom, and it was fun to watch because we didn't have anything to worry about.
Yeah.
But when it's us, it's horrifying.
Yeah.
And I am dreading the end of this week. 10:30 here Central Time in the U.S. Everybody kicks off, and oh my God!
At least you can, Pat. The one positive about that for you, though, is you just get up when it's nearly time for kickoff, innit? We've got to go through the whole day until 4:30, and it's just, that is grim. I'd rather Everton kick off at 9 o'clock on Sunday morning and just get up and get it done, because the sitting around waiting just makes it worse. But it's one day, isn't it? It's one game, and that's what it is. And we'll have to deal with whatever comes with it, but we've got an opportunity. I'd rather be at home to Bournemouth than at home to West Ham or Tottenham on Sunday. I just would, personally.
100%. And you just hope Deitch can, because I think while we've been critical, and rightly so, of him, not subbing Patterson when Coleman would have to come off when he was healthy, using Keane as a center back instead of Mina. I think he's generally been a pretty good tactical manager for the style we're playing. He did a good job against Brighton, really kind of shutting down our high press phase instead of that, because we normally are pretty, once we get and the center backs push up to midfield, we normally squeeze people and try to cut it off, sort of like we did against Arsenal, like we did against Leeds. A lot of those games where our press was very effective and was very good backing it off, and he had to make some rapid adjustments, obviously, against Wolves with just injuries everywhere. Neil having to play left back, so our top scorer is now a left back. and having to put Keane up front, which finally the one manager who has brought the Michael Keane experience at striker to us, which, you know, I mean, I heard in the final word, both you and you, Baz, and Ped talking about how his touch that's a striker's touch right there, bringing it down and putting it across calmly to Yerry Mina. I don't know whoever changed him to a center back. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks more comfortable in the opposition penalty area. And just don't forget,
So am I when he's in the I don't like him in ours.
But don't forget, Michael Keane came up with a tremendous volley in that Crystal Palace game when we needed it most. It was a brilliant volley that got us back in the game.
Outside foot.
Exactly. So he's got that in. He's calmer in their box than he is in our box. But yeah, we've just got to do what we can, haven't we? We're going to have 100 minutes probably to play that game out, and listen, it'd be a dream come true if Everton could have a balmy opening first half like we did against Brighton. Just take our chances and be 3 up, and then just play the game out, wouldn't it? That would be amazing. Imagine at half time with 3 up or something, and we just manage the second half. It'd be amazing.
It would be really nice.
And then you get the news through that it's West Ham are 2 up at Leicester and Richarlison's got 2 at Leeds. These are the halcyon dreams.
The halcyon dreams that we have.
Moisey and Richie come through.
Exactly. They've done more to keep us up than we've done ourselves. But you know, I've seen a few things. I don't know about you, Pat, but I've seen, even in the comments here, people going West Ham are away and they'll rest players. It's the worst possible preparation for a cup final 10 days later is resting players. They'll want to play, won't they? They'll want to play. You want to get in that team. You want to keep yourself ticking over. Teams who have a rest generally end up losing cup finals because they haven't had that competitiveness. So I think Moyes will go quite strong on Sunday.
I think so too, and I mean it's going to be a thing. It's going to be a thing for them, especially in their attacking midfield, and their wingers are going to want to prove, because there's been a lot of shuffling with that West Ham team. People like Fornals and Bonrama want to prove that they can be in that Conference League final game.
100%.
They want to prove that, not to be sub for someone else. They don't want to have Paqueta or whatever. They're going to all want to prove that they deserve to be in that Conference League final. So I think that's going to be pretty good. At least for us. And so I think, and Ings or Antonio are going to want to prove that they're the striker.
Yeah.
So, so that's going to be, I don't see them resting. Spurs, if Leeds weren't so bad, I'd be more nervous. And if they weren't so attacking minded and bad defensively, I would be more nervous, because that's set up for Spurs counterattack. But we really don't have as much to worry about with Leeds as much as we do with Leicester potentially.
Because Tottenham, Aston Villa have got Brighton at home, and if they don't beat Brighton and Spurs beat Leeds, Spurs get into Europe. So Tottenham have got to win the game. And people might go, they won't want to be in the Conference League. You want to be in Europe. Tottenham are set up to be in Europe in their eyes, and probably in everyone's eyes right now. Harry Kane and Richarlison and Sung and Kulusevski and people like that, they are set up to be a European team. Whether it's the Europa League, the Conference, or the Champions League, if they finish 7th, then the new manager coming in's got European football to go after next season. It's a little bit, it's a massive fail for them if they finish outside the European places, in my opinion. So I think they'll be going flat out on Sunday to win that game to qualify for Europe again.
And I've been doing the rounds on watching kind of some West Ham sort of YouTube and content creators talking about how amazing it would be for them to have their first trophy in God knows how long, right? And even if it's a Conference League, that would mean so much to Spurs fans. It's a trophy. It's just like even if they won the EFL Cup, they would be so ecstatic. And it's a chance to win a trophy with competition that until the final is going to be relatively lower. So I think it's a chance that they will really want to take. So I hope that does drive them on. And obviously, even if, Kane leaves, that would mean a lot for people who stay, maybe, Kulusevski or for Richarlison ends up being the 9 there. Yeah, I think there's things to play for both teams.
Definitely. And West Ham, Moyes wants to finish as high as possible, because he he is very much still fighting for his job. They're still on, he's had his mate Henry Winters had to write a piece about him this week saying he should be kept anyway, regardless of whether West Ham win the Conference League.
Yeah.
If he wins another league game, finishes the season with 2 wins on the run and the Conference League final, and West Ham finish whatever a bit higher up, they can finish 13th, I think, if they win. So in the end, they'll look and go, well, what wasn't that? We didn't have a great season, but we got to a cup final and we finished halfway up. It looked better for him as well.
How many times have we said, "Oh, would you take 12th this season and a cup?"
And said,
how many times have we said that and gone, "Oh, you know what?
Oh my God.
I know.
I would love to play in the
got
It was
Conference
like
League."
every season from like 2010 on.
They've got that season, haven't they? So, and they get to go in if they win it. Brilliant. Then they go in the Europa League next season.
I'd love Everton to be in the Conference
And the
League.
best preparation for that is to beat Leicester.
Just go and beat Leicester 4-0 and be 4-0 up at 5 o'clock, half an hour in.
Yeah.
So we can go, right, that's Leicester chalked off. But something tells me it's not going to be that simple, that. But
It's Everton. It's never
exactly
that simple.
Exactly.
So the last that I saw on my Discords and stuff and sort of the chat, whatchamacallit, other chats about Everton is that some people in Liverpool and the Liverpool area are kind of not as high on Deitch. And my point is, weren't we saying February 1st, if Deitch kept us up, it was a miracle, and 1 game away from that potential miracle, we're talking about sacking the guy. This team is not very good in terms of overall balance and talent, and he's done a pretty good job given some mistakes here and there. I think that you keep him no matter what division you're in, just because he's a stabilizing force that we kind of need. And I have some issues with the way Deitch sometimes sets up, but he's shown to be far more tactically flexible than what the reputation he was given. And I think the idea of trying to get someone else in, I don't think we're going to get anyone better than Deitch in recently, though I was saying that about Lampard in December, so who knows? I could be wrong.
I think if he stay up, then why not? Why not let him have another go of it? I don't quite subscribe to it's a miracle, because he's won 1 more game than Lampard. But by the same token, our squad is not very good, and I think it will be harsh to chase him if we stay up, because you got to let him. Like Lampard last season, he's come in and been in a firefighting mode immediately, hasn't he? And therefore, you got to let everything settle down around him. My biggest worry over him is the not trusting the younger players. And I want Everton to build a younger squad, and a squad by younger players, and develop them and make us better that way. But he could turn around to me if I asked him that question right now and go, well, I'm not prepared to play inexperienced players just right now because of the situation we're in. In the summer, when I've got time to calm it and we can build a team with them, that's a different argument altogether. So that's really what it is.
It's how you look at the team, isn't it? I think that Deitch will look at the team and think, I think he'd look at the team and go, right, we've actually got another year of this. Whereas I think Lampard looked at it and went, I can make this team into something better. Yeah. And I think actually it's the outlook we need is more
forward players, no matter what.
But I think he would look at it and go, I think we have to keep doing what we're doing another year of that rather than trying to change it. I think Lampard went into this season thinking he could play. I mean, think about like the front 3 on the opening day, things like that. It's like he thought we were going to be this tippy-tappy kind. He was going to play out from the back, and it was like, no, we're not. We haven't got the players to do that yet, so let's not try and do that. Yeah. I think Deitch is a little bit more sensible, and I think the club is not on the footing to go get rid of him right now. He's not someone I want as a long-term manager. Don't get me wrong, but I think for the time,
you might. Yeah, he might.
But he might surprise us.
He might surprise
everyone. Don't get me wrong. I don't dislike him or anything. I think he waffles some nonsense in at times, but I think I sort of understand why he does it. And I'll be honest, I'm not someone who's going to particularly like anybody anymore, because I think those days you need to get yourself at a level where someone finds a consistency where you start going, this fella gets us, and it's not just all lip service. And you do need someone, by the way, who does rub against the fan base now and again. Moyes used to do it, where he'd be like, no, I know more than you. Stop
get over
thinking that you know more than me, because you actually don't. And but at the same time, you know, Moyes still endeared himself to the fans massively. So maybe Dyche could do that. I don't know.
I would just like to say also, he brought through some young players. He brought through who I'm trying to think who was with him. Ben Mee when he was somewhat younger.
Yeah.
Keane, Tarkovsky,
Trippier,
Wood before him. Oh, who's the striker before Wood?
He brought Danny Ings through, didn't he?
Brought Danny Ings through. He's brought through young players too. I'm not saying that he's necessarily doing it. He wants the players that are, like he said in the beginning of February, he's not everybody's cup of tea, but if he gets a player who is like that, he's willing to play them when they're young. The problem is he wasn't part of the recruitment process for a lot of the players.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. Like I said, I'm not saying he definitely won't. I'm just saying I just look at it and think, I think Ellis Sims should have been given a bit more of a chance, but he sees him every day, and I don't. But I'll be honest, I wasn't someone who was massive on Ellis Sims with our under-21s. I thought he still had a lot of work to do. And it's the games I've seen him, he's still got work to do. But I just think he's a better option than Neil Maupay. That's my thing. But I also, well, exactly. But I also think people like Stanley Mills should have been in our squad a bit more, because he has scored a lot of goals for the 21s. And when you see other clubs doing it, you know, like Leeds last year had like Gellart in and Chrysenio Somerville and Sam Goodall, is it? The young striker.
Greenwood.
You know, they put people in as well and at them. And we've had a situation, even like Saturday, Onkaronku sat behind the bench at the weekend, and Everton have got 2 goalkeepers on the bench. And it's like, he really, because he's a forward, he's quick, he really should have been on the bench as well. But I do get the other side of it, and people might say, look, he ain't going to go down that route right now when we're fighting for our lives. I get it. So therefore, like I say, if Everton do stay up, then he probably does deserve, well, he does deserve a go. He does deserve the opportunity when it's starting from zero, and he can do the pre-season, and Everton and he can build and do whatever. So, and we do need a period of stability as well. We're going into there's going to be a lot of change at Everton this summer. Obviously, if we get relegated, it's a different conversation, because I think Everton would change him if Everton went down anyway. I think Moshiri would change him. But let's hope that's not even a discussion. Let's just get the game won and make the changes we need and give him some actual money to get players.
Yeah.
You know, that's how I see it.
There you go.
All right, guys.
Cheers, Pat.
Cheers, Pat. Speak to you next week.
Yeah, that's it, mate. See you later.
Take it easy. See you, Pat. Ta-ra, mate. Ta-ra.
Have a good one. Bye.
Did we lose Brian? Yeah. Okay. He said he'll come back on when he can.
People saying things like Spurs are being awful. Well, we know that, don't we? We know that. George Boyd, there's another one Dyche brought through. Says, you've never shone so brightly. Yeah, fair play, like I say. And Andre Gray as well. What I'm saying is, I hope that that's going to be his thing, because it has to be an Everton thing, doesn't it? We can't have it. I don't think, and this will be for any manager, by the way, I don't think we can just carry on allowing managers to have all say. We have to get a club ethos in, which is a case of developing players and moving forward. I don't think bringing in 28-year-olds and 29-year-olds is going to help us. We to turn everything in the odd one.
I think the certain,
yeah.
I think the certain positions, maybe in the full back positions, we could look at a 27, 28-year-old
left back
and right back.
Do you think?
I'm not convinced on Patterson's injury record.
If you're not convinced on Patterson, then we need to get another young one, don't we?
I just think we might need an intermediate.
Okay.
That's all.
You might be right.
We've got an oldie or youngie, maybe we need a middley. Someone who can play more than one position as well.
Fair enough. We've got Brian. Hello, Brian.
Hey there, lads.
Hi, Brian. Are you slapping your thighs there or something?
It's on full Eurovision. Hates Eurovision, doesn't he? Go on, Brian. And I thought that'd get your attention.
Well, Lorraine's back in town.
Oh, yeah, yes, right.
She's from the town I live in.
Oh, okay.
I sent Pat a cutting from the paper.
There you go.
Anyway, evening.
There you go.
Yes, Sam, yes.
What do you want to say, mate?
It's
Go.
all over for a year, thank God, half a year. They spent 6 months building up to that rubbish. It really is annoying.
You still talking about Eurovision?
He won it.
You won it,
Well
buddy.
done.
It's a
You brought it up, not me.
I know.
I just
Listen.
said, are you just like celebrating Eurovision
No.
because you were slapping your thigh like it was pantomime season? Come on, what do you want to say?
Oh, that wasn't my thigh. I just say it wasn't my thigh.
Okay. Let's move on to what do you want to say, mate? What do you want to say?
Come on, Bri.
Well, to lower the tone even more. Was it Baz who said earlier at the beginning about turn up in your blue and support the team?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was wondering, what's Mike going to turn up in? Is he going to turn up in his nappy? And what's he going to do with it if we win?
Who?
Mike, your mate, Mike, the goalkeeper.
Oh, Mike Cosgrove. Why will he have a nappy on?
Yeah. Oh, think back to was it a live program he did with you?
Did he say?
Talk about nappies. He would wear a nappy. So.
Oh, okay. Well, listen, if Mike
Well,
said
he said
it,
something else which we love.
if Mike said it, Brian, then I will be chasing him up.
Yeah.
If we stay up, I will be I'll be requesting Mike throws the nappy on. If that's what he
Well, I
said.
can't actually remember if he said he'd be doing it for this match, but
Oh, okay. Well, maybe. Hey, listen. Maybe he'll have the nappy on Sunday. Maybe there'll be a few people
you might need.
with a
That's what I
nappy
mean. You
on
might
Sunday.
need it.
Yeah,
Yeah, you might need it.
yeah. Maybe.
Yeah.
You
I
never.
think we should be told. You know.
Okay.
I think
What
we
I'll
should-
try and
should.
do, I'll try and find out. I'll try and find out for you, Bri, and I will update you with Mike's undergarment wear ahead of said game on Sunday.
Headline used in the tabloids.
Well, yeah, maybe.
Oh dear. That was it, basically.
Is that it?
Oh, okay.
No,
Allow you.
no,
go on.
no,
Well, go on.
one,
What are
you-
you?
Anyway, no, you know the one thing that got me, about Leeds Tottenham. I
Yeah.
completely agree with you about them being so much better than they should stuff Leeds. Absolutely. The only one thing that gets me there, I think Allardyce is too wise a fox for Ryan Mason. And I think that is the only way that Leeds can get anything out of that game. Because I think he's too experienced, too good for Ryan Mason. If Mason makes the wrong tactical moves, Allardyce could catch him.
Well,
As the
aren't
game
you-
swings.
Aren't you a bleeding barrel of sunshine, Brian?
Oh, you bet, absolutely, always.
The thing is, though, Brian,
Apart from that-
listen. You're right.
Apart from that-
You're right. Obviously, Sam Allardyce is massively experienced, and Brian Mason isn't. So you were right there. However, I would be looking at both teams. I'm looking at the quality that Tottenham have got, and saying Harry Kane and Richarlison and Kulusevski and Son and Lucas Moura on the bench and Dan G. I mean, imagine if Dan G. got a couple of goals and kept Everton up at the irony. They have got a lot of attacking talent, and Leeds are all over the place at the back. It's just a fact. Leeds fans will tell you that. Leeds can score, absolutely. They can score against Spurs because Spurs are all over the place themselves. But if both teams play to their 100% potential, Tottenham will win the game because they're a better side. And you know, we can't be worried about Leeds, can we? We have to do our job. If Everton draw and Leeds win, as long as they don't win 3-0 or 4-1, then we stay up anyway. But we just got to do our job, and I think Everton have to go out with the mentality of winning the game. And it doesn't matter who scores the goals. Yerry Mina, Michael Keane, Tarkovsky, whoever. We have just got to do our job, and we're capable of doing the job. This team that he puts out will be capable of beating Bournemouth on Sunday. It mightn't be capable of winning games every single week and having a consistency, but on a given day when it matters to us and it doesn't matter as much to Bournemouth. I've already seen Gary O'Neill and his language of like around the game isn't it's a do or die. Do you know what I mean? He said something like, we'll try and give a good account of ourselves. Well, okay, and I'm sure they will. They're not going to come and lay down, but it isn't about Everton giving a good account of themselves on Sunday. It's about Everton getting the result and getting that game won. And it's about the fans roaring and screaming and shouting and singing. And we pulled back what was an impossible position last season against Crystal Palace, who, in my opinion, are a tougher side than what Bournemouth are. And we turned that round, albeit we had the Charleston and Dom, but we still did it. We've won games this season. We've beat Arsenal when they were flying. We beat Brentford, who were a really good side without Dominic Calvert-Lewin. So, we've got to just go out and battle and scrap and fight for everything. And if we do that, we may well come out the other side of it, and then the changes can begin. But we've got to just do what we can do to influence that game, and we can't be worried about Spurs, and we can't be worried about West Ham, because they've got their own things to play for, the pair of them.
Well, I fully agree. I just said that I fully expect Tottenham to win, but as you said, the defence is awful, and Leeds can't score against them. It's not important. It's not. You should not rule that out. And I'm just thinking, if Mason makes the wrong move, Allardyce could possibly switch it and get him that way. That was the only thing I had. But I fully agree with you. Being to hell with the rest of them, we concentrate on ourselves.
Yeah.
And I think we could. I'm actually more confident than I was when we were playing Wimbledon, Coventry.
That's it, isn't it?
Shouldn't really say that, but
no, you're entitled to say.
And we were in the bottom. We were in the relegation zone on those days as well.
I know I'm tempting fate a bit, but
we're not really tempting fate.
Just got a feeling about it.
Yeah. Let's hope.
So yeah, that's. I think we could do it, and fully expecting a nice, cool, calm, relaxing weekend.
Oh yeah, fourth Bri. Yeah, I mean, just get in your sauna, give yourself a whack with a bit of tree, and you'll be laughing.
I'm not in Finland.
Well, it's all the same, isn't it? Come on, let's be honest.
Mind you, well, do our best. We jump in the cold lake instead.
Do that.
That's good.
Do that.
That's good. Cold shock therapy is very good for you.
Yeah.
Oxygenate your muscles and your blood cells. Very good. Get your mitochondria loving it. All good. It's all good.
There you go. Nice one, Bri.
Right, take care, mate.
See you later.
See you soon. Up the Toffee. See you, pal. Ta-ra. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't.
If you want to get on and you're not a member of Toffee TV Premier, then become a member of Toffee TV Premier. You get a 25% discount off merchandise. So, I mean, that's enough of a incentive to come and join us. I think, anyway.
Absolutely. We've got a guest on soon, anyway.
Coolio.
Good. So that's that. But yeah, we have just got to worry about ourselves. Got to worry about ourselves. Toffee Nut says it's player mentality is the issue, Baz. But the mentality has got us one defeat and 1-7 away from home, which we'd be made up with in a normal season, only losing 1-7 away games. Our home form's been poor. We've got to go out and do the business, haven't we? It's up to it. We can bemoan everything. We can bemoan Dominic Calvert-Lewin. We can bemoan we didn't go and get proper reinforcements up front. We can bemoan the board, the owner, whatever. But at the end of the day, just right now, we have got one more game to play. And if we win that game, we are safe. And that's all we could have ever asked for, really. If it wasn't going to be a situation where Everton turned around and went, yes, we're going to be safe with 5 games to go. It was never going to be that, because we just didn't have enough goals in us to do that. So therefore, for us right now, it's this. It doesn't matter what happens. It's this game. It's this game.
Is that Brian?
Oh. Yeah, it's Brian.
We got another Brian on the line.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brian.
Got Brian.
Oh, hi, Brian.
We've got another Brian.
Okay. Hello, Brian.
Hello, Brian.
Oh, Baz.
Hello, Brian.
Baz, what is going on? It's terrible out there.
What's happening, mate? What do you want to say? Go on, Brian.
You told me that Neil Maupay would score 8 effing goals at the start of the season, and he's nowhere bloody near.
I just know what I did. I checked his XG.
Oh, yeah.
And his XG looked like he might get goals. He's had a... I'll be honest.
That's what head.xg. That's not for me. I don't know what XG is. It could be XDA, XBlueA, XPIV, everything like that.
Fair play.
I have no idea what you've been spouting on this channel, but it's been absolute nonsense.
Oh my God.
You
You're
need
right.
to- you
You're
need to-
right.
No,
He's
to
actually
know someone who knows about this
He's
stuff.
ex-aid me off.
You need to find someone who
no,
knows. About
it is me. It's me. It's
I'm only
me.
messing.
who is it? Sorry, who is
Who
it?
is it? Who is it?
So is it?
It's a man from the past, or a very distant
What would that
past.
man's name be?
It's Andrew.
Oh, is it
Oh,
Andrew
it's Andrew.
McGregor, formerly the
I was
Pig?
gonna give us- I
It's
wasn't gonna give us full
30
name.
too.
Okay,
How are you,
sorry.
mate? You all right?
I'm not too bad. I'm having a lazy afternoon, so I thought I'd bring you two idiots.
He's just bought a car.
That's it. That's it. Actually, yeah.
I just bought a car.
So
to
why
show
aren't you in here?
Well, I mean, there's
When I get my new car, I'll drive down.
He's right, lad. He's right, lad. Tell me something positive, mate, ahead of Sunday. Come on. Give me some. Give me some
I don't even watch
stats.
it. I don't even watch Everton anymore. But no, but
Too busy, aren't you?
I think we'll win. Yeah, I think we'll win.
Do you think?
I think we'll win.
You know-
yeah, 1-0
1-0.
off Michael Keane's big blockhead back of the net.
Imagine if Keane. It would be amazing. If
Are you
Everton
allowed
won
to
2-0
say that?
And Keane and Maupay scored the goals, wouldn't it? It would be amazing.
Yeah. Are you allowed to say that though? Because he could be a future client of yours. So
I don't think they're going to be my future clients. I don't think that's going to happen. Well, Michael Keane won't be there if I had anything to do with it. So there you go. Yeah.
Let me ask you about. Actually, you're not going to be able to. What do you think about? Are you allowed to talk about Jared Brantwaite or not?
I can say a little bit, I guess.
Okay.
I've watched Jared a bit. The only thing I would say for everyone who obviously has been hearing about Jared in the Eredivisie is that obviously it's a smaller league than the Premier League. The centre forward's about 10 kilograms on average less than your Harry Kane. So he's not going against people of a similar size or bigger,
Right.
which the Premier League's full of athletes. So it is going to be a bit of a difference playing every game in the Premier League.
Yeah.
So he's still got a bit of development to do as well. He had a bit of a rough game, I think it was the other week or last Sunday.
Yeah.
I know Andy van der Meijden has given him a load of abuse today, but he doesn't like anything to do with Everton, does he? But I think Jared's still got a learning to do, but at the end of the day, he wants to come back, he wants to play, so Everton will give him every chance, I'm going to guess.
Excellent.
do you think he's better? Let me just say this. Do you think he's better than the other options we've got available? Well,
he's not going to mean it. He's not better than Yerry Mina, is he? Yerry Mina can't stay fit, and he's going to leave, so... Yeah. The problem is, especially with managers like Sean Dyche, they go for experience.
Yeah.
I know, obviously, Jared's had, 2 years in the Champ, a bit of Carlisle, and now he's had, obviously, experience on loan at PSV. I'd be surprised if he throws someone so young in straight off the bat, but you never know. You never know.
Can I ask you about Tom Cannon? On a general level, is that a lot of everything?
You can try and get me in trouble here.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying there's a lot of people some people still think he can play on Sunday for us because he's our player, but he can't. Just on a general level, is he, if Everton did stay up, in your opinion, do you think it's still too early for him to
it's still
play in the
too
Premier
early. He's a
League?
young development striker. We saw Ellis Sims. He's probably a year ahead of where Tom is in terms of his development of his all-round game. And he's still trying to find it hard to get Premier League minutes. I think Tom's best going out on loan.
Yeah.
Hopefully to a team in white. But I think he needs to go out on loan again.
Yeah. He's been linked with another team in white today as well, but there you go.
I see, really. Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right, then. Well, what about there's another young striker? Well, where is Ellis Sims in his development?
I think he's still a top-end champ striker. I'd be surprised if... And I like Ellis, by the way. I think he's a good striker, but I don't think... I wouldn't say Everton probably want to buy 2 strikers in the summer. And I think that'll push Ellis out, unfortunately, as well as he's done in the Championship. And Everton may be able to cash in on that. There's a lot of teams short of a striker in the Championship and teams that are also going to lose a striker in the Championship that may need some help in the summer.
Yeah. It is interesting, isn't it? It's going to be interesting, obviously, if Everton do stay up the route they go, because they can't. The other days are gone, aren't they? Of how the recruitment has been in the past. They're gonna have to watch some of our videos we've done, mate, over the past, and maybe go down that route, because something's got to change, hasn't it? Can't carry on doing what they've been doing.
Well, it seems to be a lot of change swirling, doesn't it? Obviously, hopefully, Sunday goes our way. Pray to God, and then hopefully we get a bit of good news on next week with a bit of change. But there's no guarantees in that. But still, we can only hope with Everton, can't we? It's always about hoping. Maybe next year, like only fools and horses. This time next year, Rodney will be millionaires.
But this time next year, we might be 11th. Yeah, that is a dream at the moment. Which is.
So it'd be nice just for an easy season, wouldn't it? We're on the beach from March sometime.
So yeah, let me ask you this then. I'm trying to use the full use of your knowledge here. Yeah. Where should people be looking? What emerging market should fans be looking at for potential buys to come into Everton?
Well, the good news is the government and the FA are reviewing the work permit regulations at the moment. So hopefully we'll have announcements in the next 2 weeks. So that would open up everywhere. The talk is that Premier League teams who've given players or English players a certain amount of minutes will get up to 4 wild cards. And those 4 wild cards can be used on players from any league in the world as long as they're considered special. It's called special circumstances. So whereby they're worthy of playing the Premier League or the English Championship or whatever. So that would open up every league. We're finding and watching football. Belgium obviously is always a hotbed of talent. Obviously, a lot of play. I know we've seen people like Onachu go to Southampton and not do so well. But
have you killed them? I can't hear him. Ned's killed them.
Rescue him, Ned.
Come on, Ned. And you back?
You back?
Oh
no.
We can't hear him breathing.
That's just you.
That's you. Hello.
Go on, Andy. Go on. You went off.
Sorry, we lost. I know Mathew hasn't done so well, and then you were about to mention someone else.
Can you hear me now?
Can hear you now.
Sorry. So the way payment rules are changing. So Belgium always a good place to start.
Yeah.
Portugal. I think the top 5 leagues in general. France being the deepest in terms of talent. I think Everton are looking at players in Italy and Spain probably this summer as well. So they're probably worth a look as well. Right. But no, the top 8 are now.
Andy, what about Austria? Because obviously, physically, there's some good. Is he still there?
I don't know. Still there, Ned?
Yeah, he's still there for me.
He's not there for me, though.
Not there for us. Ned, why do you
type Austria too?
Why'd you hate the channel, Ned? Ned, go on, Ant. You there? Hello. Kieran Dow's just signed for Rangers.
Yeah, that's been.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, just signed for Rangers.
Hello, Andy.
Hello.
Go on, mate. Again? Yeah, we can hear you again. Go from.
What about Austria? Yeah.
Austria.
What do you think?
Austria's a good league. Yeah, it's just in terms of the level of quality compared to, like, say, a Premier League. Salzburg obviously play in Europe regularly, so it is a good. You can find good players there. But we've seen Patson Daka score over 20 goals in Austrian coming here and not really firing all cylinders. Don't get me wrong, Leicester haven't done so well, but. It's a tough league to come to the Premier League. It's more like a German league where it's like end-to-end transition football. And the Premier League can be still very much a midfield, athlete-heavy league where the physicality of the league is the biggest key point when you sign the players.
Someone's mentioned Gift Orban, the Nigerian lad.
He's had about half a season at Ghent. They signed him for $3 million. This team's looking at him. I'd give him another season. I think we're saying that he's similar to Mathew. Mathew went there and did a similar thing. He didn't score as many goals because he didn't play as many games, but then he went straight into France and scored goals. So I do expect Orban to move. He'll probably move somewhere in the summer.
No, we are going to have to look differently at other stuff, aren't we? So, because we can't just do what we've done in the past, and that's a massive issue for Everton. But they have to change it, because if they don't change it, it's just going to be worse, isn't it?
I think, I speak to Steve Kelly all the time, and he's a really big Matthew Loughton fan, and he's been banging his drum for a while. Wants to be pens, corners, captain, all that sort of stuff for Matthew Loughton. That's what Steve's up to, That's his dream.
Classic Steve.
Right,
and Ashley Barnes as well.
Right,
nice one, and.
Nice one, and.
See you in a bit.
Mate. Ta-ra, pal, ta-ra. Always good talking to the piv. Just trying to get someone else on. That'll be a minute or so. Let's see what happens, yeah. See what happens.
You get him on via the phone, Ned, yeah?
Well, he's just sent that for now, but then we'll see what happens. Dick L says, we've already lost twice at Bournemouth, and the score on aggregate is 7-1. What makes you think we can beat them on Sunday?
So what? What has one thing got to do with the other?
Don't know.
What has one thing got to do with the other?
Don't know. Frank was the manager when Bournemouth battered us twice.
What's one thing got to do with the other?
I honestly don't think it's got to do anything. But I was just reading Dick's question out. So there you go. Okay, here we go. Toffee Chaz says, "Hi lads, been a while on holiday in Belgium with my school on Sunday after GCSEs. I will be at the World War One trenches while we're playing. Could be a good thing to take my mind off it."
Fair play, Sid.
Fair play. Fair play. Everton Viking on Dyche says he's won 4 games out of 17. People are overstating the job he's done. Dick L says, "I'd chase Dyche 4 in 18.
Where would you chase him to?
Chase him round.
Would you chase him on your bike?
He might chase him.
Would you tell your missus you chased them on the bike, but actually you're gone for a pint?
Brad says, "Just want to say thanks to every one of you. Look forward to watching the lives every day. Hate the weekend. When the weekend comes and don't have any lives to look forward to. Looking forward to meeting up with you."
Might just
Cheers, Brad.
Could just set a camera up in Ned's house.
He wouldn't want to watch. He wouldn't want to watch Thingy, would he? He wouldn't want to watch Ned. Just sitting there. I don't think he would. Anthony says, "Evening lads, do you think there's a possibility of us exploiting some of the other business interests of MSP to generate money, sponsorships, exposure, such as the X Games, McLaren?"
Put a Formula One
Says
track round the stadium and put a skateboard park in.
What Anthony's saying is right, though, isn't he? You would hope that they would lean on all of their contracts and experience in other markets to try to get Everton's name out.
That's the point, though, isn't it?
We've had a chat today about Wrexham and all the stuff they do on a much lower scale, and I know it's easier, but
it's not on a lower scale, is it? Because all it is it's a scale that represents who they are as a football club. They've announced a new training kit sponsor today, and it's clearly one of Ryan Reynolds' brands. Because it's basically an offshoot of Avatar Gin, but it's another way he's found to get money into his own club, because he's going to have to deal with FFP now. Now, the simple fact is that these people, this is what you're going to get. We had the conversation the other day about this. This is what's going to happen more and more in football, because football clubs are becoming huge entities that are owned by countries.
Yeah.
Sovereign nations. How do you keep up with that? Can one man, one family own one sports club? I don't think so. I think you're going to have lots. This is the future now. Multi-club. Now it's there's a multi-club thing like Red Bull, or there's a multi-club thing like what City do, where it's all a pyramid system for Manchester City, and you can use that wealth and you can spread it around the world, and you can get players, or you use it to go upwards to Manchester City as the major brand. Or you have something like MSP or FSG. FSG is what is essentially what it. You know, they own a baseball team. They own other things. People within that. There's different shareholders. This is the way forward. You've seen this everywhere now, and they own other clubs. Now they'll be looking to dip their toe in lots of different things. And yes, we can use that. Who's to say that for one game we're not part of a sponsorship package for McLaren, or part of it for the X Games, or we're promoting the X Games by doing something, or we're not using some of those other clubs. Like you have a brain trust for the whole thing, where we're sending players on loan to those other clubs, and where it's benefiting us and it's benefiting them. And I think this is the future now. You're simply not going to have going forward. I personally think anyway is the ability for these owners to buy clubs like us. Of course, the very, very top, you are going to have the sovereign nations or people, you know, within these. But as it goes a little bit lower, you're gonna get less of that. I think you're gonna get more of these multi-club hedge fund kind of situations. And yet there has to be crossovers, because you've got to use all that expertise. These people are going to have marketing experts who know how to market the Formula One team, McLaren, the X Games. Things like you don't spend a fortune on buying something off Disney and just going, oh, we'll just leave that. That's a huge product already that they're going to try and make bigger. And we've, you know, hopefully that's where they come in for us and help us with the stadium and with everything else.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, I'll just read 2 out, and then we've got a special guest on. Andreas Kiprianou says, love watching you two. I'm a Leicester fan. Andreas, I'd love to say good luck Sunday, but I can't, mate. Yeah. But apart from everything away from the game, all the best, mate. Thanks very much for tuning in. ESC Graham says, if you look at our past few games, we've got 2 draws away, beat a very good Brighton side away, and lost to City, as most do. So not in bad form going in to this one. Absolutely, yeah. And Ganny Mead says, Dyche's Burnley won 7-2 and lost 3 against Bournemouth. So there's still hope. Absolutely. Right, are we ready, Ned?
Yeah.
We've got a special guest on for this one. Hello, Alan.
I'm here.
You're there. We are joined by Alan Myers, massive Evertonian.
Sky
Sports, head of what is a big week. How are you coping so far, Al? How are the nerves?
I'm okay, you know, at the moment. I just keep saying every couple of hours, we've just got to win, you know, and I genuinely keep saying it to myself, you know, and it's like involuntary, you know, it's not prompted by anything. I just turn around if there's a spare second in my mind and go, well, we just got to win, really, haven't we? You know, and that's it. And I think in some ways, you know, I think as well, that's a little bit of a danger, really, because we have got to win, but we're sort of, we're thinking as long as we win, that's okay, you know what I mean? And that is the fact, but it sort of rolls off the tongue too easily for me, you know. I feel as though I should be checking myself a lot more, you know, when I say that.
But we lost to Fulham and Newcastle at home, Al, and I honestly thought, watching them both games, I looked and just thought, I don't know how we get out of this, I really don't.
No.
And then obviously we had James Maddison as a penalty at 2-1 to Leicester, and he scores that, it's 3-1, and we probably lose that game, and it wouldn't be in our hands. So if anyone would have turned around and tapped me on the shoulder and gone, would you take having to beat Bournemouth to stay up last day? It's in your hands. I would have bit their hand off.
Yeah, at that point, I mean, Newcastle in particular for me, you know, because I think Fulham was there were still games, you know, but the Newcastle game was the first time I really thought, you know, we're in trouble here. You know, we're, this is going to be a problem.
Yeah.
And strangely enough, and you know, I'm going to just be honest. You know, I feel worse than I did in '98. I feel less confident than I did in '98. And in '98, you know, even if we've won, you know, Bolton would have won.
Yeah.
You know, if we hadn't bettered Bolton's result, you know, we would have gone. And I don't know why I'm feeling like this. I don't know if it's because of my age or, you know, or whatever, but, you know, something, it's just, I'm not as confident. Do you
think the stakes are higher, Al, than they were in '98? Because obviously the Premier League was in its infancy then,
100%.
and the gap wasn't as big. I don't think we've actually had the conversation today about that gap between the Premier League and the Championship. The gap
100%.
just feels huge now, doesn't it? And everything going on at the club, it just feels like a real big landmark moment for this football club.
Yeah, and I think the Premier League is in some ways much bigger now. You know, like it's than it was then. Even you know, the Premier League was great then. Don't get me wrong, but it wasn't what it is now. If you know what I mean, and it wasn't that. You know, that you're a completely different club, aren't you, when you're in the Championship than you are in the Premier League. Even if you're at the bottom of the Premier League, you're a completely different type of club, and you're seen differently, and people are interested in you, and you know, not so much in the Championship. You know, and I cover a lot of the Championship, and you know, there's some great teams down there, some great games, but it's just not the Premier League, and that pressure, I think, is excuse me, is what's in your mind, I think.
Yeah, obviously, I mean, this is something we've looked at. You know, you go into the Championship, and I mean, I imagine if Everton, I don't want to really talk about this, but you go in the Championship, Everton would be the big fish in there. We'd be on TV at like Sunday afternoon at 12 o'clock and Friday nights and all these things. And I can't imagine there'll ever be another Saturday 3 o'clock kickoff for a very long time if we go down.
Yeah, there is that, but also I think. And I, you know, I'll stand by what I say here. You know, I think Everton being relegated would be the biggest relegation from the Premier League era.
Yeah.
You know, I genuinely believe that. You know, and I know Villa have gone down and Newcastle have gone down, but I just think the amount of years Everton have been in there, you know, it takes me back to, you know, in some ways, the Man United 1974, you know, when they went down there, you know, it sort of felt that big. And it's just the fact that we've been in this league for, you know, the top league for just on 70 years. And it just feels, you know, I even heard Jamie O'Hara on Sky the other day saying, no, Everton can't go. That's just ridiculous. Everton can't, and I think when people like that are saying it, who have got no real sort of allegiance to the club, brings it home to you. So, the job's on Sunday. It's as simple as that. And I'll say it again. We've just got to win. It's as simple as that.
I mean, if you're a Leeds and Leicester fan, the pressure's on you, and it's that depression thing of, even if we win today, if Everton win, there's nothing we can do about it. And that, in a lot of respects, that's even worse as a pressure. I mean, not obviously it's worse, but as a pressure, because it's,
100%.
Have we got enough in us to get the win?
Yeah.
And even if
it
we
also
have,
takes that little bit of wind out of those teams.
Exactly.
Knowing that even if they do win, it might not be enough. It takes that a little bit. And in this Premier League, fine margins are literally, as thin as wafer. The margins are so different. And if you're even 1% less than what you should be, it'll show. And, but this is not helping really, mate. With me.
Well, we'll come back to that. You've obviously, just very briefly, you've done a piece for Sky Sports, the Sky Reporter thing, because Everton have agreed rather an exclusivity deal, but Farhad Moshiri has, with MSP. Obviously, there was others mentioned, 777 and things like that, but I know you always felt it'd probably be MSP, just the way it was going. Can Evertonians, in your opinion, I know you're just looking at it like most of us, but in your opinion, can Evertonians be excited, if that's right, or not? Maybe excited is not the right word, but can Evertonians be staff being a little bit more reassured that these people might actually make a difference within the football club, Al, if they get in, or do you just simply, you like us, you don't know yet?
Well, first of all, you have to, it needs a big red sign saying caution, before you give any predictions to
no, I just mean as
because
you never know, do you?
We all were absolutely delighted when Farhad Moshiri came in. We thought it was a new dawn, and and it hasn't turned out like that. But and this is my own personal view,
of course,
I feel extremely confident about, and for me, I've always hoped that MSP will come in, because they seem like a really serious, commercially savvy group of people who are serious about sport and about not so much the day-to-day running, of it, but more the vision and the direction that the club is going in, and I think and this would be probably, certainly in football, their biggest venture, and would be the most exciting from them, I think. So I think they would really put themselves right into it, so, and listen, as I say, the caution is, I don't know. None of us really know.
No.
But I'm excited. I'll tell you that. From what I've heard and seen, it excites me. Because I think this is an initial thing, and I think my personal view would be it would grow at some point, and become bigger. So, who knows? But you just have to go on a hunch at the moment, because that's the way. That's all you've got to go on, really. And I feel like this is the right way to go.
I mean, this is something we have spoke a lot on the channel about. When you're looking at potential owners, obviously you would be seduced by a country with hundreds of, with billions of pounds to spend and all that. But football has changed so much anyway, in the fact that Newcastle United are state-owned, which, in my opinion, shouldn't have been allowed anyway. Just not necessarily just Newcastle, but I don't think a country should own a football club. But that's a different thing. But even if you had all of that war chest of 100 billion, you can't spend it with the rules. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have that. But what me and Ped have spoken about many times is having a savvy group who know how to use data and know how to get the best out of what they've got, because we have got an incredible fan base that is waiting to pop. But one thing I would say, Al, and I've been championing for you to go back to Everton. I'm not going to put you on the spot. I'm just saying, but we need someone who's gonna be able to try to drag everybody back together, don't we? Because there is a big split in our fan base. It's not necessarily like polar opposites, but there's just fractures, and I think we just need someone who can who can try to bring that back together a little bit with communication and with everything else, because I think people do want it. I believe anyway. But maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. But I believe that the fans do want to buy into something. I think we all want to buy into something.
Everton, in my experience, Evertonians are one of the easiest groups of people to deal with, and people might raise their eyebrows at that, but I genuinely mean that, because we've got to a position for whatever reasons, and there are plenty, where we just want to see progress right at this moment.
Yeah.
But I think what we've got to do is, first of all, is be honest about where we are. And I think we've got to put the messages out there of realism and what the situation is. We can't hide behind, we're going to do this, and what we want to do is very different to what we can do, probably. So I think, first of all, and this is not in any way a criticism of the comms team. Far from it. There's some good people there, and you can only work with what you're given. And that's the bottom line. But what I would say is that, first of all, the message needs to be clear to the fans, honest, open, and realistic. And let's everybody just realise where we are as a club, what the difficulties and the challenges are, because Evertonians will go along with you if they know, they might not be happy about it. Even in the 7 months I was there last time, it went really well, and 90% of the time it was great. But there were things which people were not happy about on a number of occasions, and I take them on board, and I took them on board rather, and I believe everything can be resolved in the end, whether or not you either end up disagreeing or agreeing. People will understand, and as long as you need to have a bit of humility, I think, with fans, and be able to just be open with them. And if you're, because football fans want you to lead the club, they don't want to run the club, they want you to do it. But they want to be certain that you're doing it the right way, or at least looking like the right way. And you have to justify it goes back to do you remember when Kevin Keegan stood on the steps of St James's Park, and I can't remember.
He sold Andy Cole.
Andy Cole, that's right, yeah. And but I'll tell you something, I'll bet you those Newcastle fans walked away from there a lot happier than if it had just been sent out on a press release or whatever, and that's what it's about. It's about having empathy, having understanding, and sort of explaining to people where we are. So that's the first thing, I think. But there is a there's no one can deny there's a damage between the club and the fans. There's no two ways about that. It's there. And there will be people who tell you it's not, but it is, and it's not fair on the people in the club who are working day to day, and it's not fair on the fans, and the sooner that can heal, the better for everyone, I think.
Well, to be, you mentioned that about like situations talking to the fans. You were there, Al, when obviously the badge was changed, and after there was fans weren't happy, and I remember when you came, I was on the Blue Room at the time, and you came in and you showed us the new designs, and you even had the I've still got it actually, the printout of the votes, and again it was that thing of like, people weren't happy, you listened, the club dealt with it, we got the badge we've got, and everyone sort of came away from it happy, and it was dealt with. It was dealt with properly. And I know in the first place maybe the badge shouldn't have been changed without some recognition to the fans that it was being changed, but it got dealt with. It just feels like at the moment the club do things out of spite to almost hate the fans, and that's something that fans just simply won't put up with. Fans understand that difficult decisions have to be made, but I feel this season decisions have been made almost to rub the fans' face in at a time. Now clearly that mightn't be the way it is, but it just feels like that at times now. And you know yourself, you get a happy fan base, you get everyone behind the team. People will buy into everything, and we all, when you were at the club, we all bought into Roberto Martinez, and then suddenly you've got this. It's not us and them; it's all of us in it together. And I remember little simple things, like I remember when you went with Roberto and you You lit up the tower blue, and suddenly the thing that's on our badge that most people didn't even know where it was, it became a recognisable landmark in the city. You know, you allowed us to come in and speak to Roberto, and we all spoke, and then little things were said. I remember there was something that you said to me, do us a favour, don't put that on your podcast, and we went, sound, no problem.
Yeah, you work together.
Yeah.
You know, one of the biggest things, and I've been round football clubs, you know, for a long time now, you know, from the early 90s, you know, at different clubs, and not only from working in them, you know, because I've worked in two, but also from going there in my job, you know, and I see how people work and how different people do things. And one thing I've always known is that unity is one of the, you know, people talk about pillars in any business, you know, or you know, and one of the pillars is unity. You cannot, you know, and people might have thought it was a bit trivial at the time and everything, but the video we did at Christmas where you know, we had everyone in it from the chair, you know, from actually the chairman wasn't in it, but from Sir Philip, you know, who really remember shouted rubbish at the end. You know, I mean, you know, so you normally a very sort of you know, a serious guy who, you know, and he just joined in because he could see the goodness from it. You know, all the staff were involved. You know, the fans were involved, and it was brilliant. But unity is massive in a football club, and I can tell you, if you don't have it, you will not be successful. Even if you have it, it doesn't guarantee you success. But if you don't have it, it guarantees you that you won't be successful. And I've seen it in too many clubs where it has been there, you know, and it happened when I was at Blackburn. When I walked into Blackburn, it was the fan base was so fractured. It was unbelievable. They were hating each other. You know, there was different groups, brought them all together. We all got into a room and we all talked on a regular basis, you know, and that's all that's all you need. You know, it's got, and it's unity within the club as well. You know, I always go back to the same thing where the story about JFK, you know, when he went to NASA, you know, and he went on a visit when he was president, and he went on a visit and he was walking down a corridor and he met a janitor, you know, as they call him over there. Yeah. And he said to the guy, "What do you do here?" And he said, I'm helping to put a man on the moon, you know, and that was that mentality in NASA where everybody, no matter what you do, everyone in a football club is helping the team to win trophies, you know, and that's it. And it sounds simplistic. It sounds, you know, a little bit cheesy, but I'll tell you what, it's actually true. You know, it's there, and that's what we need to get. And I don't think I think the people in the club want that as well, strangely enough. You know, I think they would love that. I think we've somehow got ourselves into a position where we're in this situation, and I don't think it's comfortable for them, and I don't think it's comfortable. Well, I know it's not comfortable for the fans, and so we need to find somehow, as soon as this season's over, because we haven't got time in our heads this week to deal with it. You know, but we need to find something to do that and to make that happen.
Yeah, no, I think you're right, Alan, and it is something that we all need, and it is that healing, if you like, because I think we've proven on occasion that when the fan base are together, like we did at the end of last year, it really dragged the team over the line. The fans have done it again. They've given the team a chance, the away support, and I think if we can get access to that through yourself, if I nominate you there and put you, I might buy the club and put you back in, but we do need someone. We do need someone
to be fair. I'm very privileged and happy to do what I do.
Oh, of course,
of course.
I'm just throwing it out there. That obviously, we'll make you an offer you can't refuse. We'll make you an offer you can't refuse.
What do you think? What do you think? Just going back on MSP or investment. Do you think there's any timeline on that? Do you think we could expect that anytime soon?
Well, I'm a little bit cautious of doing that because you know, I was told nearly a month ago that it was imminent. And I think what you've got to understand, and what fans have got to understand, is that these are processes which have protocols, and you know, there are financial institutions don't like unrest. They don't like you know, anything that looks, you know, what's the word I could use? But you know, but they don't like uncertainty. They don't like anything which doesn't look good. So they like calm, you know. And I think, whilst we all sit here as fans waiting for something, you know, something to change, and I think it's universal. I don't think anyone with any sense would realise that change doesn't need to happen. I'm never have and never will say what that change should be,
Yeah.
because that's up to Farhad Moshiri, because he owns the club, and it's his responsibility to decide what that change is. We don't work there every day. We don't know who does what and who doesn't do what, and but anyone with any sense would know that change needs to happen because it's not right, no matter what. So I think maybe to answer the question, in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I think you'll see it become clear.
Yeah.
But it will be about red tape and making sure processes are in place, to accommodate those changes if they come.
Yeah, because we are on the clock, aren't we? Soon as the game's finished on Sunday, we're on the clock, aren't we, for next season?
It's the shortest summer for a while, isn't it?
Yeah,
because of the World Cup.
Yeah,
so you would hope that plans are, no matter what the situation is within the club, you would hope that plans are being made, and I'm sure Sean Dyche will be. If I know him, he will be making sure that his plans are at least from his side of things being looked at. And I'm sure Kevin Thelwell will be.
See what happens. We've got a couple of messages here. Ross says first thing MSP should do is reinstate Alan. He's a proper blue. See, it's not just me. And Sean Smith says Alan Myers was brilliant when he was at the club. He brought the fans and the club together. Since he left, the divide between the owners and fans has never been the same. So there you go.
No tea parties, that's bad.
Get Alan back. No tea parties, biscuits and everything. That was the issue.
What I will say, because I feel as if I should balance it up now, but what I will say is that, Roberto's just the way he was, and you'll both agree, I'm sure. Certainly in that season, anyway. I don't know quite what happened after that. But
you left.
But I tell him that every now and again. But I always tell him he would have been okay if I'd have stayed. But no, exactly. In all seriousness, he helped enormously because he was a manager who could. I mean, what manager would, talking about that video before? What manager would sit there and then start singing to the camera? I mean, you've got to have that buy-in. You've got to have that, and he did, in fairness. But results.
Dictate.
I remember Peter Johnson saying to me, Alan, when you're not winning games, even the pies taste nasty. And that's football. If you're not winning, nobody's happy. But you've got to have that solid base where people, and this is the word, trust you. You've got to have. You might not agree with me, but they'll trust me. That's the way I look at it. And your trust only lasts as long as you keep it and and earn it. But yeah, it can be done.
Absolutely. Let me ask you, let's go back to the game. And it was obviously, you were there in 98, 25 years ago. The last day, home game, Coventry, we have to win. And we'd obviously had the last day in 94 with Wimbledon, and it was never again. And 4 years later, we were there again. But, I mean, what was it like then, Al? Because obviously building into that game, we'd just been battered at Arsenal, haven't we?
Well, that's where I always take it back to be honest, the Arsenal game, because that's where it really... I think that was strangely enough, not like the City game. Like the City game was, we sort of expected it, didn't we? And we had a go for I don't know how many minutes, and we did try, and we were just beaten by a much better side, and we were beaten by a much better side against Arsenal. But the nature of the defeat was, when Tony Adams is running through our defence like it's not there, and it was just. I remember being on the touchline, first of all, just sort of standing with Howard and at Highbury it would have been no, it was Emirates. Was it the Emirates? Do you know?
No, it was Highbury.
Highbury was it? Yeah, of course it was Highbury. Yeah, sorry, I'm getting me dates mixed up. Yeah. But so I remember standing on the side, and we just didn't know what to say to each other. It was because I was taking him to the press, and it was all and everyone had sort of pushed us aside because they, of course, had won the title, and then we had to stand and watch them get the trophy, which didn't help. But then the bus back, and God, it was horrendous, and you just knew we were in for the worst week of our lives that week, and I remember then on the Thursday, I think it was, or the Friday, no, it would have been the Friday because we played on the Sunday, didn't we? We had, and you'll all remember, in the older days when we used to do a press conference ahead of a cup final, you'd have it used to be done at the ground, and you'd bring a few players up, and journalists and press and everything could just walk around and talk to different players. You'd put 2 or 3 players and the manager. And that was like a special FA Cup final press conference, and that's what it was. That's what we had at Belfield. And I'll never forget, we were upstairs in at the canteen where the manager's office was, and we come out and we looked out the window, and there was just this sea of journalists and cameras and radio, and I said, he went, "Bloody hell, lad, who's all this?" I said, "Howard, it's mad." And so I said, "I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll go downstairs and I'll tell them, So I go downstairs and I say to them, look, there's only going to be 3 interviews, 1 television, you'll all have to get together, 1 radio and 1 media, because we just would have been there all day if we hadn't done.
Yeah.
So I come back up and I said, right, I told Howard, I said, this is what I've done. I've said 1. So he said, yeah, no problem, lad. So I said, okay, so that's great. He said, that's a good idea. So I said, okay. So anyway, eventually he has his cup of tea or whatever, and we walk down. And people like Richard Tanner, I know he won't mind me saying, but Richard Tanner and oh God, the names all escape. Matt Darcy and all the usual. We used to call the Mersey Mafia. And we come down. Next minute, they're straight over to Howard, aren't they? Howard. This is not right. Alan Myers is telling us that we can't do. It's only going to be 1 interview. This. And Howard looked at me and said, "What are you saying that to them for, lad? Let them get on with do their own one-to-ones." And I'm like, oh my God, but you know what? It was a masterstroke by him, because all of a sudden he was their hero, because he dealt with the big bad press officer, that, and I didn't mind taking the hit for him, because, and all of a sudden they were kind to him, you know what I mean? He was a genius like that, Howard, and he knew what he was doing, and all of a sudden they were his friend because he'd said, yeah, we'll have a sit down together. So that sort of anger, and that sort of aggression that was probably going to come wasn't there, and he was brilliant. But the day itself, I mean, I honestly feel as if it went past me with a numbness. I wasn't in the room. Do you know what I mean? I was totally, and half of the game I ended up outside with Brian LeBone walking up and down Goodison Road, and it was just because down the tunnel, there was a delay. We were watching it on the telly down the tunnel because I couldn't go, and there was a delay, of course. So you'd hear a cheer outside before you'd see it on the telly, and it was just I genuinely never wanted to go through anything like that again. I mean, and here we are.
And here we go.
That's funny because I remember big moments of the Wimbledon game, but I don't remember anything about the Coventry game. I don't remember anything other than what I've seen on TV, but I remember moments from the Wimbledon game. So
yeah, I mean, it was. I mean, one of the most poignant moments was after the game, and I know Donaldson spoke about it. And when we went looking for Howard, and we couldn't find him after the game. It was bedlam. As you can imagine, and we just heard this movement in this little kit room behind the manager's room. Baz will know it. And we heard some movement. So we went in there, and there he was. This is Everton's most successful manager of all time, and he was sat down on the floor crying, and it was the most. I get upset now even thinking about it. You know what I mean? Because it was horrible to see. This was our leader. You know what I mean? And I felt so sorry for him. Because I know it wasn't a great season. I know he'd made mistakes and things like that. But I tell you what, there was no shortage of desire to be successful. And it was a horrible moment that. And then me and Don sort of just and he sort of as you would expect him to, he just got up as if nothing was happening, and oh no, I'm all right, lads, and you just knew he wasn't, and then we went in and sung songs with Dave Watson's Good Old Dad, in the pub singer style.
It's mad, isn't it? Here we go again, but hopefully the same outcome, as in not we draw and we scrape it, but the outcome is we just get
what
up.
We need is a start like Brighton.
Just said that before. Let's get 3-0 up and just play the game out. That would be lovely.
That's it. Yeah. It is quite scary, really. But it was, it was a. I mean, I remember just after that, then because I'll be honest with you, I don't drink, as probably and I just I just lost control after that, because honestly, the pressure and the tension, because people don't realise, you're going to lose your job, probably, and things like that, as you'll know, because you were there.
Absolutely.
But in a few days after that, I couldn't get out of bed. I was that drunk, or not drunk, but I just got that drunk.
Yeah.
And I was at home by 8:30, 8:45 that night. And so I'd not really drunk a lot. I just got. So when I got back in on the Tuesday, Howard had done an interview, and then we had this period where of nothing, where we were just going in, and they were redecorating Belfield, and all these tiles, those plastic tiles on the ceiling, they were all falling down around us, and it was just me, Brian Greenhalgh, and Howard in his room. And I'll tell you a little funny story. So every day we're going in and nothing's happening. We're just waiting for the news to come that he's lost his job. We all knew, and it was a horrible time, and it was I thought it was disrespectful to Howard, because. For what he'd done at the club, he deserved better than that, even if better than that was to be told straight away, And anyway, so I went into the room, and I used to go to the Sayers because we had no food because the season had gone. There was no Mary or anything like that. So I'd say to him, Howard, I'm going to Sayers. Do you want anything? And he'd say, "Have you got?" He said to me, "Are you going near a shop? So a news agent?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Get us one of those girly magazines, will you?" So I'm like, oh my God, I'm thinking. So I walk out, and I don't know what to do with myself. You know what I mean? Because I'm thinking he's lost the plot here.
Didn't he just mean the Jackie or something like that?
So no. So I says to Brian Greenhalgh, Brian, I don't know what to do. And he said, what? I said, the Catholics just asked me to get a girly magazine. So he said, really? I said, yeah. I said, I don't know. So Brian went in. He was braver than me, because he knew. He was
funny, Green.
Brilliant. And he went in and he said, Howard, what do you want? Like, he said, woman's own, or and what it was, his daughter was in hospital and he was going to visit her.
Oh my!
I'll tell you what, I'm glad I mentioned it to Brian Greenhalgh, because I'll tell you,
come back with
Razzle
or whatever.
The bag. Yeah, but
imagine that, passing it to the bag. There you go, and he just takes it straight to
I know. So, but it was just, that was how mad it was at the time. You just, and that's why I was in a position where I believed anything could happen at that point.
My God, you were still drunk. Well, we did have that. A
bag of grapes from the Reader's Wives.
The situation where Alan was away, and of course. Right. Good lad Fred Webb had to read the press announcements out, and I'd just been with Fred about 20 minutes before that and went back to the office, and the next minute he's on telly. Howard Kendall has been sacked.
It's John Bishop.
That's what he was like. He's boss, Freddie. Freddie is boss. What a fella.
He did his best Liverpool 4 accent.
He did, didn't he? He was the top man. Fred lived in London Street, didn't he? Probably still does, like by Everton. But he was a good lad. But yeah,
he was a ledge. He was a ledge, Fred. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's not a great time, and like I say, eventually, as you say there, Howard went, and. And then Walter came in, and it was all change again, But yeah, it's not, this club shouldn't be. This club's better than this, It really is, and I think everyone would agree with that. No matter whether they're at the club, in charge, whatever. This club is better than that, and it should be. And that's not being, big-headed and over big-headed. It just is. When you look at the people involved and what we've done and the way we are as people, it deserves better.
Yeah, absolutely superb. Right, Al, I'm going to let you go, but it's been absolutely tremendous. And we'll have to have you on again, because it's brilliant. But listen, I'll obviously speak to you over the next few days anyway. But
when I've lost some weight, I'll come in the studio.
Top man, top matey, come in. We'll get bevied, me and you. One bottle of beer each, Al. That'll be it. A pair of us will be on the floor.
Making me look better, making me look worse than
no, shut up, mate. Shut up. Right, I'll take care of yourself, mate.
Cheers,
Alan,
mate.
Let's get Alan back to Everton. Take care, mate. See you soon. Ta-ra, Al. Absolutely.
The legend that is Alan.
Fantastic. Got some unbelievable stories, Alan. And
get him back to Everton.
I would
first thing, get him back to Everton. Honest to God, half of these problems wouldn't be there, because he would talk people like us in a room and go, behave yourself, lads. Come in here and we'll have a chat.
Saying this,
yeah.
No, but
honestly.
for everyone and fans and communication from the football club and all of that, journalists who are maybe throwing the digs in or Everton all the time, have a word with them.
That's where it all started going wrong.
And let's all try to move, even if we don't always agree with each other, let's at least be all heading in the same direction. And listen, he's a massive Evertonian, and he's massive. The biggest thing is not even about whether he's an Evertonian. He's massively experienced. He's on a bleeding board of directors at Blackburn. He's got boardroom experience. He's been in the media for 30 odd years. For me, he's perfect for what Everton needs.
He's
right
ultra
now.
perfect. And by the way, just a couple of people in the comments. No, the Fisher-Price badge should not have stayed. It was,
but the Fisher-Price badge produced a great season.
But so did the 85 badge, and we got rid of that. So no, that badge was horrendous. I'd actually go with the badge that's on the third kit this year going forward. That's my. I like that. Just the tower.
You could still have the Everton.
You don't need anything else. You've got that tower, and that tower means Everton and nothing else. And that's all you need. That's all we need to know about. But no, Alan May should be back at the club. He's got every single thing, and it's
He's a conduit, I think, to getting people.
Right, let's get Astro on deck.
Final one of the night.
Let's get Astro on.
Let's get the Astro on. It wouldn't be the same without Nick.
Yes.
Here he is.
My God, I can't imagine what it's like being like, I gotta follow Alan Myers. Like, are you for real? Like, what the hell? Like, you can't do that.
Well,
I mean, that'd be like putting on Bootsy Collins after James Brown's just left the stage. I mean, good God, y'all trying to set me up for failure or something?
Go on, big man.
By the way, first signing of the transfer window is Big Alan Myers back in charge of communications and engagement, greetings and salutations, and everything related at Everton. Can we all just agree on that?
I think so.
Mate.
I think so, Nick.
Yeah.
Anyway, how are you holding up, mate?
Mate, I am as nervous as a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs at an old folks' home at dinner time. I'm here to tell you, if you could put me in one of them alien cryostasis hypersleep pods, I'd just about tangle with a damn xenophobe than I would to just have to deal with real time between now and Sunday. Good God, I am actually bent out of shape. You know what I'm saying? And I got all kind of other moving parts going on.
You need to chill out, mate.
I'm telling you, my blood pressure. Listen, the cats haven't been eating at dinner. And I was like slating them the other day. I said, there's feral cats out in the street starving. You little greedy so-and-sos need to eat your dinner. And my wife says to me, Nick, she says, you can't be a dick to the cats just because Everton are terrible. And she's 100% right. But them cats need to eat their dinner because that fancy feast ain't cheap. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, okay, I want Everton to fancy feast on Bournemouth's ass come Sunday dinner time. You see what I'm saying? Let the big dog eat. I'm telling you, aggressive. Get into them. Paws, feet, ass, and tail, everything. I mean, we got to literally go cage match, bang, a belt hanging from the top, scatter their ass from the opening whistle till the end. Don't even stop for halftime. Beat on the damn doors of the visiting changing room and raise hell at them. I want you to treat Bournemouth on Sunday like they said your mama's a tart and the breath smells like a beer fart, daddy. Let me tell you something. We got to be ugly to these people. We got to call them names. We got to say words that we normally spare from our vocabulary because there ain't nothing civilized about Sunday. It is loser leave town, baby. It is cage match rules, and we got to kick ass with both feet. Is that about the size of it?
I honestly think, you were going on about following Alan Myers. I'm not sure we can follow that. What a hype. What a speech. What a speech.
I just want us to be aggressive. I mean, listen, I got to tell you something. This is not so much about the football club. This is about us. All right. Yeah. To me, Everton is my friends. They're my family. They're my people. They're like the folks that I'm like ride or die connected to. Right. Like, I don't know where you are, like whether you're going to be in the Park End or the Goodison or the Bullens or you sitting in them fancy bass seats, wherever you are, okay, if you're in front of the television, I don't even care if you're sitting on the porcelain pony watching it in the bathroom, wherever you are, and if you're supporting Everton, you are my friend, and I'm with you. And we've all got to get our minds right, and y'all at Goodison, y'all got to yell at these folks for 90 minutes plus injury time. And listen, don't get on these players' backs. Let them have a free pass on Sunday. Don't get down on them. Don't get tense. If you upset about a missed pass by Everton, yell at a Bournemouth player. Tell him his hair's ugly. You know what I'm saying? You just whatever you can think of. Boy, your socks is dirty. You know what I mean? You better wipe them damn shoes off. I mean, tell them to pull their britches up or something. I mean, you just got to absolutely harass them. You know what I'm saying? You may not know their mama, and they may be the finest person in the world, but you got to say ugly stuff about their mama on Sunday, whether it's true or not. We'll sort the plagiarism or the libel out afterwards. You know what I'm saying? We just got to be ugly to folks.
Don't get that. Right, turn it off. Turn it off.
Sorry.
Turn it off.
I heard my theme song.
Yeah.
I heard my theme song going right
It is
there.
the theme song because you just keep going. Woo! And all of that.
You know what, brother? Listen, I'm just telling you right now. You have got to – Goodison on Sunday has got to be something that is damn near like supernatural. Like, the ground's got to shake and boodle. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to raise hell. Like, L4's just got to be lit. I mean – this is it. This is that pivotal moment. This is where we get to decide who we are and where we stay and what this football club means to us. Okay? So we can all agree to disagree. We may be on different sides of the fence, and I know I'm some silly yank telling a match-going supporter that I need you to be loud, but I do need you to be loud because I don't have the privilege of being there. I need you to fight for me. Okay? So listen, I get it. Park Inn, y'all got to raise hell, right? Glottis Street got to turn it up to 11. Yes, that amp goes all the way to 11. So this is Spinal Tap style. I mean, y'all, like, this is it. Like, this is literally it. This is it. We've got to go here. We've got to go now. And we've got to go the extra mile when we walk that aisle at the Terror Dome, Goodison Park, baby. I mean, listen, going to the Shatter Dome on the banks of the Mercy, all right, ain't going to mean shit if we don't leave the Terror Dome with our heads held high.
That's it, isn't it?
Absolutely.
That's
it.
We've got one shot at it, mate, as Eminem would say, and that's what it is, isn't it?
That's right.
Go and do it, get the win, and then we'll deal with the rest after it, but that's what it's come down to.
It's got to be rage, aggression, just, I mean, literally lit, fit, and ready to start some, well, you know, you can figure out what rhymes with that. I ain't trying to, you know what I mean? That's us. Like, that's who we have to be. We have to have one singular focus, whooping Bournemouth's ass so bad we can claim them on taxes next year. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
That's it. That's it.
That's it.
Can't
all, and
wait.
listen, like, I'm telling you right now, I'm like stalking the halls. I'm just like ready to go. I mean, like, I got an Everton top on underneath my work clothes right now. I mean, I'm ready to go. And you know what? Alan Myers, like, man, I've never heard Alan Myers say anything wrong. When he was talking about the janitor at NASA, when President Kennedy asked him, what are you doing? By the way, that was Apollo 11, Baz, on the moon, baby. Anyway, sorry about that. But anyway, Basil, I'm telling y'all, every one of us matter.
Yeah.
Even these supporters like me who were fretting and worrying. Listen, I tell you what I did. I went and took some money and sent it to the Winslow and put it behind the bar and pay for some match-going Blues pints on Sunday. Because I tell you what, that's what I can do. It ain't a lot. And you better get there early if you want to ask for a pint because that money ain't going to last long. But that's what I'm doing. And I'm checking on my people, and I'm trying to ask, and I'm trying to encourage. And I'm going to do videos. I'm going to tell you right now, we're getting a pre-match video. We're going to get a post-match video, and then we're going to get the post-season video. And then I got to retire for a little bit because I got stuff to do. But
yeah, I've got stuff to do.
Yeah,
you have got
stuff to do.
You got stuff to do.
Listen, I really got stuff to do.
I know you have.
And if I go quiet, it's because
coming soon.
Because I'm
coming soon.
Got stuff to do.
I'm putting a tag team together.
That's it, my mate. That's it. That's it, my man. That's say no more. Say no more.
I got putting a tag team
That's
together.
it.
But no,
5-a-side team, my mate.
What's that?
5-a-side team you've got coming.
Well, coming up. Yeah, we just need one sub in. We could maybe talk Baz into being the striker. You know what I'm saying? get Pedro. Get
Britton Howell to be your striker.
Oh, we would have to have Britton. Yes.
Yeah. There's your 5-a-side team, my mate.
Dude, that's it. That's winning.
That's it.
Listen, you guys keep doing what you do. Outstanding.
You got to, mate. Got mortgages
this week. Yeah, you guys keep doing what you're doing. And listen, this is battle stations. This is put up or shut up time, and we got work to do. So
Absolutely.
I want to see Goodison. And I just want to, after the match is over, I want to go. You know who the man of the match was? It was the Everton season ticket or just season ticket or just ticket holder. It was the Everton ticket holder that was the person of the match. That's what I want to see.
That's what it's got to be, and it will be.
Yeah,
and it will be.
Yeah. Oh, you know what I hope? I hope that stadium is irreverent and raucous and just ruckus everywhere, and we just whoop their ass. Don't even leave it in question. Put 6 on them. Put a 6-pack on them.
Just
you know what I mean? And that better than Brighton.
That's it, man. That's it.
Absolutely. What a way to finish that be.
Nice one, Nick.
Astro, top man.
Nice one, mate.
Top man. We will speak soon, my mate.
See you later.
Speak to you.
See you later.
Cheers.
Hey, last but never least, up the Toffees, baby.
Woo! See you later, mate.
There you go.
What a
Sorry
shot
for the string.
Anthony Youngie says, surprised the bookies at Bournemouth at 6-1 to win. They will, won't they? Because it's a game.
They will because it's a game.
The bookies will go with
6-1
like
against.
that. Steve Lamb says we have to keep our heads on Sunday, keep 11 men on the pitch. Absolutely. And Roderick Cassar says, I'll be flying in for the game. The last game I saw was Crystal Palace 3-0 win. We'll win. Leicester and Leeds will draw at best, and I'll be singing my heart out on the plane back to Malta. Come on, you Blues. Is right, Roderick. Listen, thank you very much, everyone. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button for the likes of Alan Myers.
Now.
And also subscribe to Toffee TV Football as well. Woo! We're going to be relegation battle therapy all week.
No. Right, we'll be back tomorrow, 1:30 over on Toffee TV Premier. If you're not a member, why aren't you a member? It costs like less than like a fancy
less than a
coffee.
Or a fancy coffee.
Like half as much as a pint.
Way less than a pint.
Why aren't you? Get 25% discounts on your merch, and you also get to join us on the phone and look at the smart merch that we've got. There you go. Thanks for watching. See you later. Bye.